Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you brought one of these with you, anybody have one of those? Please take it out for a moment, show it to me. It's the people who are not looking in their pocketbook or their pocket right now that I'm most concerned about. In this season of repentance and forgiveness, your phone is the one that goes off tonight. I just can't guarantee how it's going to go. So we ask you, please silence your cell phones. Did everybody retrieve one of our little journals from the table as you came in tonight? This is what we'll use for our reflections and for our work of repentance. As we get ready to begin, just take a moment, if you can, just center yourselves. Take a moment and end your conversations. Place 2 feet on the floor. Feel planted in your seat. Take a moment and close your eyes. Take one good deep breath. Release all of the stuff you brought in here with you. Take one good gulp of Shabbat air. Allow that peace to just radiate through your body, through your consciousness. And allow yourself to enter into a space of worship and introspection. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
The Tanakh includes a love poem, Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs. And in the Song of Songs, there is a phrase that is familiar to most of us. Ani l'dodi v'dodi li. I am for my beloved, and my beloved is mine. It is a way for us to talk about the inextricable interdependence that we share not only with those whom we love, but with the creator of the universe that fashioned all being, including our individual consciousness and souls. Now, if you take that word, or that phrase, I should say, Ani l'dodi v'dodi li, and you take the first letters of each of those words, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, you get another word, Elul. Because Elul is the time that we unpack our covenant, our marriage, our love with the Holy One. And we use that month of Elul to think about what is the quality of that relationship. And in what way is it functional? And in what ways is it broken? But interestingly, that last word of that phrase, Ani l'dodi v'dodi li, I am for my beloved and my beloved is mine, that word li Lamed Yud also adds up to an interesting number, the number 40, which reminds us of the days of the month of Elul and the 10 days of the month of Tishri, the first 10 days of the new year that lead us to the Day of Atonement. Because it is this celebration that we have. It is this opportunity that we have on this last Shabbat of the year as we enter into this holy week leading up to Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the new year, that we have an opportunity to think about all of the different ways in which we love. We think about not only our relationship with the Holy One, we think about our relationships that we share with each other and the relationships that we have with our own selves. And tonight, as we think about the state of those relationships and in what ways they are not ideal and in what ways we have to rebuild, we will take the opportunity tonight through worship, through introspection, through a little bit of journaling, and take the opportunity to embark on this incredibly holy and sacred path that leads us to reorient our compass to use the gift of life exactly as the Creator of the universe wishes we would. We are blessed on this evening to have an extraordinary guest with us, Chava Mirel, who is a self-described unique being in the world of music and spirit. Regardless of setting, whether it's a spiritual gathering, a concert hall, classroom, or a jazz club, she imbues her music and her teaching with the universal themes of hope and caring, connection, and inclusion. An award-winning Jewish music composer, her compositions have been included in compilations and songbooks throughout the Jewish world. She serves as the cantorial soloist and musician in residence at her home congregation, Temple to Hirsch Sinai in Seattle, Washington. Other than congregations in Juneau, Alaska, I don't think we could have asked you to come any further if we tried. She is a celebrated singer and songwriter, a world music and jazz artist, and has also performed with legendary reggae and punk artists. In October of 2021, she released her 5th full-length album, Chava Mirel, The Quarantine Sessions, an album recorded in an electrifying live session with her jazz sextet. It is truly an honor and a privilege to have you help us as we embark on the new year.
Thank you, Rabbi. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do, Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Blessed is the blessed one, blessed is the giver of blessing, blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Blessed is the blessed one, blessed is the giver of blessing, blessed is this moment now and every now to come. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless
this time of introspection and examining our own lives, we also have the opportunity to look around at all of the people who are supporting us, our whole community. So take a moment to look around at each other, everyone who's here. Through our inner work and our connections with each other, we have the opportunity in the coming year to find our path and to live it wholeheartedly. Wholehearted, 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 wholehearted. Ki talech lefanai ve'yetani. Ki talech lefanai ve'yetami. Ki talech lefanai. Ki talech lefanai. Ki talech lefanai. Walk in my path, and you shall be wholehearted. Wholehearted, and you shall be wholehearted.
In these last moments of Shabbat, we continue with the ritual of bidding farewell to these holy hours. This last Shabbat of the year also reminds us to begin our process of bidding farewell to the year 5783. And there are three symbols that we use to carry the essence of Shabbat into the week that begins, including the sweetness of the wine, the spirit, the fragrance of the spices, and the interwoven nature of the different wicks of this candle that produce one single light. Take a moment and think of one sweet thing from the year 5783 that you want to carry forward. Think about what element of the spirit of this year you want to carry forward in your own spirit. Think about all of the different reflections of the light of this year that resound in your memory and twinkle in your own eye. Will come together to create the light and the beacon that will guide you into the new year. And as you carry through all of the different elements of this year, the sweetness, the spirit, and the light, we pray that all of that goodness will launch us into a new year filled with blessing and with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
is a story that a Rebbe was coming home on his way to begin the celebration of the new year. And a police officer stopped him and he says, "Stop. Who are you? Where are you coming from? Where are you going?" Rebbe thinks for a moment and he says, "How much did they pay you to stand this post here?" He says, 50 kopecks. Rebbe thinks for another minute. "I'll pay you 100 kopecks, he said, if you promise to stand here every Friday afternoon just before the Sabbath and ask me those same 3 questions. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And where are you going?" This is the work of Selichot. This is the work of this edge of a knife on which we stand between the year that was and the year that is, this time that we have the opportunity to really ask ourselves the most fundamental questions that we can in orienting what it will be to have the agenda of our lives. Who are you? Who are you? And where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? Where are you from? And where are you going? Where are you going? And as we think about those questions that we pray will animate us not just as we embark on the new year, but perhaps each and every day of the new year, we think about how those questions, if they continue to echo in our consciousness and in our presence, can help to guide us exactly where it is that we ought to go, to be who we ought to be, and to never forget to offer our gratitude for where we have come.
שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש. שבתי, שבתי בבית
We ask everyone to take one of the little prayer books that you see in the seats before you and turn to page 124. If you don't have one, you can cuddle up with someone who does. Ya ana emtsaecha, mekomcha na'aleh v'ne'elam. Soul of eternity, my strength, my song, where will I find you? Your place is a mystery far away, but where will I not find you? Your glory fills the world. I sought your nearness, I called you with all my heart, and when I went out to find you, I found you coming toward me. Breathless, I witnessed your power, and in holiness I gazed. You have searched me inside and out with your beam. You have known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You think my thoughts before they arrive in my mind. You are my walking. You are my lying down. All my living is your knowing. Where could I go to be apart from you? To what place flee from your presence? We read together. Awesome is what you are. And this I know in the secret silences of my heart, where your awareness dwells and embroiders me into the fabric of the physical world. Out of the slender thread only your eyes can see, recorded by your hand into the book of the world, all the days of my recordable life, even before I live them. Search me inside and out with your beam, pour your awareness throughout my heart like honey, and find the crookedness and selfishness there, and lead me away from it on the way to your timeless time. The poet Mitchell Ditkoff wrote the following. The real marriage. Today, my own best man, alone in my room, I am going to marry myself. Love who I am till death do me part. Embracing what exists at the core of my being, knowing as I do that my soulmate lives inside me, closer than my own breath. Muse of my muse, and has always been with me even when I was not, whole until itself, radiant, free, snuggling in its wrinkled pajamas with infinity. This marriage of myself, this loving the love that loves, is not a rejection of the world, nor is it a denial of the passionate glory of loving another. It is, quite simply, the recognition that who and what I am were made for each other a long time ago. Best friends, lovers, the pauses in this poem, not so much holding hands, but being held in the massive arms of the nameless one who animates us all. We ask ourselves, who are you? And we can answer in so many ways. We can answer by our names. We can answer by who we are in relation to those we love or who brought us into life. We can answer in relation to the occupations and avocations that occupy our time and attention. We can name the people to whom we belong, the communities of which we are a part, the organizations, the nations, the peoples. We can talk about what we believe, the principles on which we stand. We can think about our foibles and our failures. And so we take a few moments in your journal. And if you don't have one, you can pull out your phones and jot down a few notes to yourself. Maybe put a title at the top of the page, "Who am I?" And use a little time to reflect on how you might choose this night to answer that question.
And you shall be wholehearted, wholehearted, and you shall be wholehearted,
Philip Barlag, a travel writer, wrote a book called His Story of Rome in 12 Buildings. And it takes you building by building through Rome so that you can learn the history and have an accessible amount of buildings to building. We're trying to do the same thing tonight, looking at the year that has passed as 12 buildings. It depends how you count the year that has passed. Some of our flow of our year is September to September, or Elul to Elul. Some of us, it's January that sets our year off. Wherever you are in your year, look back over the building of September and October and November. of December and January, of Tishrei and Cheshvan and Sivan and Kislev, and look at the flavor of each month. What do you feel like in September or October or November? Is life day to day for you, or are you living somewhere else and everything changes once a certain month comes or goes? Do you have kids that are at home that now have left, or have your buildings of years built up so much that you have grandkids that come stay with you now as well? That is part of the goal of tonight, to figure out how to journey through the year that has passed in order to get us through the year that is ahead. This is the central theme of Judaism coming back around again and again. As Deuteronomy begins to end and Moses prepares to die, and the stories are left to tell, so the year that has passed has stories left to tell as well. What we will take of them in the new year and what we will leave behind. We continue with Hashivenu, that reminds us of the circular time of this year that has passed.
We are so blessed with a rich tradition that goes way back and helps to root us so that we have an anchor for our path forward. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva, bring us back to you.
It can be exhausting to look backwards. And so in a rare moment of physical action, We literally, after Tavo Lefanecha, take our fists and pound our hearts so we do not go into the new year dull, so we do not go in without reflecting on the year that has passed and month by month all that has transpired. And so we continue on page 127 as we read together at the top with Vidui confession, followed by Tavo Lefanecha. Together, page 127. As the days of awe near, we reach for the infinite, mindful of our frailty. We seek the holy. Despite our mortality, we carry within us the Ancient of Days. Despite loneliness within, we sense that we belong to a single soul, a spirit that fills the entire universe. Let us find in that universal spirit a new source of strength and significance, more compassion, more generosity, more gratitude for life. Let our hearts be open to self-reckoning, and may we grasp how vital to our friends, our lives, it's Shuvah, the path of return. On this night of forgiveness, we confess our wrongs and take account of sins, failures of judgment, weakness of will. The hour is late, our need to be forgiven profound. Our God and God of all generations, make our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We've done wrong. Together we confess. Together we take responsibility. Page 128, fist to heart.
Please rise.
Hashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazanu, Dibarnu, Dofi. Ay, 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 ay. He'evinu, ve'hershanu, Zadnu, Hamasnu, Tefalnu, Sheker. Ay, 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 ay. kizavnu, latnu, maradnu, nihatnu. Ay, 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 ay. Sararnu, Avinu Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Oref. Ay, 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 ay. Rashanu, Shechadnu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu. Ay, 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 ay.
We abused and abandoned. We acted without thinking.
We blamed others when we failed. We boasted and belittled.
We coveted and corrupted. We coerced the weak to do our will.
We drove away those we loved with silence. We deceived and denied.
We enticed and enslaved. We exalted money and material goods.
We fouled air, sea, and land. We flattered and falsified.
We gravitated to those who gossip. We gave up our ideals and gave in to our impulses.
We hated and humiliated. We held grudges and refused to forgive.
We ignored and idolized. We insisted that we were right.
We judged others rashly and wrongly. We were jealous and unjust together.
We
killed and we were knowingly unkind. We kept to ourselves in the face of need. We lacked commitment to causes we espouse. We were lazy and we lied. We missed the mark and minimized our mistakes. We mocked what we did not understand. We neglected those who depend on us. We were negative and narcissistic. We overreached and overreacted, too often erupting in outbursts of anger. We poisoned and polluted. We perverted truth for personal gain. We quelled the voice of conscience within us. We quit too soon and quarreled too often. We ridiculed and resented. We refused to accept help. We rationalized our failings and our flaws. We spurned the wisdom of our tradition. We squabbled and scorned. We talked too much or not enough. We traumatized our children with anger. We issued ultimatums and made ugly threats. We uttered untruths and undermined with cynicism. We were vain and vicious. We vilified foreigners and strangers. We wasted time, strength, and talent. We wallowed in self-pity, wished but did not act. We exploited and expropriated. We expected others to save the world. We yearned too much for prizes and praise, and failed to share fully in the joy of Zion reborn.
ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, קבל לנו. ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, קבל לנו.
We continue together, page 130. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'ones uvratzon, the ways we have wronged you under duress and by choice. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha v'zadon uvishgaga, the harm we have caused in your world deliberately and by mistake. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha begalui v'asater, the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'yodim u'v'lo yodim, the harm we have caused in your world consciously and unconsciously. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sinat chinam, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'rchilut, the harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tzarut ayin, the ways we have wronged you through a selfish or petty spirit, the harm we have caused in your world by hardening our hearts. Selichot, Selach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Please be seated. Please turn now to your journals. Turn to a new page. And turn your attention to the summer, to this last week in the month of August, in the month of July, and the end of June. And take a moment to think about what you experienced, with whom you shared those experiences, where you were, what you did, what you failed to do, what you wished you had done. The times in the summer when you look back and say, I was right on. That was me and my best self. And moments in the summer when you look back with regret, acknowledging that perhaps you didn't live by your values and your principles. You acted rashly or without thought or deliberation. Take a moment and just add your thoughts to your journal of the summer months. Turn back to the springtime, the celebration of Shavuot, Yom HaAtzmaut and Yom HaShoah, Pesach and Purim. Think about how you lived in those months of June and May and April and the end of March. and reflect on those same considerations for the springtime. Consider the winter. For those in our area, the glorious, cool warmth, which is why we live here. For those who are not here, too bad. But the chill and the cold, the way in which it seems like the whole world is hibernating. Think about how you spent those months of March and February and January. With whom did you spend that time, and how did you love them, yourself, in your world? Were you awake and aware, or oblivious and asleep? Where did you journey in the winter months? And lastly, turn your thoughts to the fall, the celebration of Hanukkah and Cheshvan. Recall when you celebrated the gift of Torah at the end of Sukkot, the waving of lulav and etrog and the celebration of the harvest. Your last day of atonement, the 10 days of Teshuvah. And where were you in the new year and celebration of Rosh Hashanah 5783? Back to Selichot on the arrival of that new year. Who were you in the fall? Where were you? And what were you?
Ashivenu,
Adonai Eloheinu hu svirachem aleinu Shema koleinu Adonai Eloheinu hu svirachem aleinu Vekabel berachamim uveratzon et tfilateinu Ki el shomea tefilot v'tachanunim ata Shema koleinu Adonai Eloheinu hu svirachem aleinu Shema koleinu Adonai Eloheinu hu svirachem aleinu
It is a season of confession. So I will share with you that one night, while walking the dog, I was reading something on my phone while I was walking, and I literally walked right into my neighbor's basketball hoop. Bam! Nearly knocked my glasses off. I was somewhere else, not being particularly careful where I was going or what I was doing. I'm okay, in case you were concerned. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "I went into the woods so that I might live deliberately." And how often is it that we are carried on by inertia, where we tell ourselves the lie that there is such a thing as multitasking, where we are in conversation with someone but really not, where we are with someone but not really, where we are not fully present or actually deliberate, where we're having a conversation with someone and playing Bejeweled at the same time. We ought be more careful in thinking about where we're going, in thinking about what we're doing, in thinking about how fortunate we are just to be able to be alive in this moment. Take a moment, if you can, and think about all of the gifts that were given you so that you could be here tonight. Think about those in your family's history whom you will never know, who fled crusade, pogrom, Inquisition, Holocaust, who gave up whatever life might have been elsewhere to build life in a new world. The sacrifices of those not among our people who built a country that imagined a concept so foreign it still boggles the imagination of freedom of religious expression. The sacrifices made, the innovations imagined that allow us to be here. Or if we're not here, here. All of those that invented technologies and therapies, ideas and ideals, all of which have taught you to be who you are and what you are, who have given you mission and purpose, privilege and perspective. Take a moment and just think a little. Where might you go?
During this time of introspection and asking myself all these questions about who I am and where I come from, I don't feel like I'm finding more answers, I'm just finding more questions. Does that ever happen to you? And Rabbi read this beautiful poem earlier, "Where Will I Find You?" Where will I find you? Maybe, like Rabbi said, if we put down our phones for a minute and look up and look around, maybe we can find some answers. But I am willing to go into the next year with the humility of not knowing where I will find myself, and not knowing where I'll find holiness, and maybe keeping my mind open to all the possibilities. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? Ya'ana and Sacha Mekolcha Na'leven Elam Ve'ana Lo Emsacha Kevodcha Ma'ale Olam. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you, please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me.
Please take a new page in your journals. At the top of that page, you might write, "Where am I going?" You might write, "Promises to myself." You might write, "New?" And use this time to perhaps inscribe some resolutions, a mission statement, a destination or series of waypoints that will lead you into the new year to be who you seek to be, who you were meant to become, what you ought to be. page 114. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive the darkness in our hearts, our loss of hope. Pardon our distraction, our ears closed to the pleas of the poor, and lead us to atonement together. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our circles of secrecy, knots of guilt, shame, and anger, webs of betrayal and greed. Pardon the pursuit of happiness that ends in worship of self, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, refuse to forgive our refusal to forgive. Release our grudges, hatreds, and feuds, puncture our stubborn self-righteousness, and lead us to atonement together. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive our vanity in a universe of awe, our complacency in a universe of need. Pardon our failure to thank, praise, and salute every soul and every star, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our disregard and insolence, our distance from loved ones and friends. Pardon our daily inattentiveness, our failure to notice that we fail to notice, and lead us to atonement. Page 141. We ask everyone to please rise. Together. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Yein Manu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu.
Tekiah. Shevarim Torah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shevarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah. Tekiah Gedolah.
Please be seated.
Yasher Koach. We started this service with Rabbi reminding us about how important our relationships are with each other and with ourselves. So let our relationships with ourselves and the love that we have within spread out to each other, and let that love spread out to the whole world. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well, healthy, and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be peaceful and calm. May you be filled. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well, healthy, and strong. May you be safe and protected. May you be peaceful and ותשמרנו תאר שכינה פניה אלינו ותיכוננו תישא שכינה פניה אלינו ותשם לנו shalom. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well, healthy and strong. May we be safe and protected. May we be peaceful and calm. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well, healthy and strong. May we be safe and protected. May we be peaceful and calm. Shavua Tov.
We encourage everyone to carry your notebooks with you when you come back to synagogue for the holy days, next Friday night at 8 p.m. and next Shabbat morning at 10 a.m. or wherever it is that you will be worshiping and welcoming the new year. All of the information about the holy days can be found on the temple's website. If you haven't signed up yet for your tickets, now's the time. We want to thank our wonderful musicians who are here with us and our members of our choir, and especially Chava Mirel, our remarkable guest. We hope everyone will stay for a schmooze and a cookie, and we wish everybody a Shana Tova.
Shana tova.
טובה.